Good afternoon, this is Pam with Follow Your Brush, and I'm about to go on a swatching adventure. Thanks for following and liking and subscribing. If you can stand a swatch video, here we go. I am in love with A Gallo. Let's just put that out there. I love A Gallo watercolors, and I have purchased a yellow palette and my blue palette. My two recent purchases. They only sell once a month because they are handmade in Assisi, Italy, with honey, which is locally resourced, gum arabic, and rosemary oil, and they are absolutely delightful. They sell them generally on the last Sunday of the month. If you go to their website, agallocolors.com, which I will post in the description, you can get on their mailing list and they will post when they're about to have a sale. It's actually only available for a couple hours because they sell out so quickly. Now, I've been playing with these today, so they have already been wet, but they re-wet beautifully. This is lemon yellow. I painted an entire painting with just this yellow palette, and it's just gorgeous. This is royal yellow. I know I don't have lines drawn or Sharpie marks, but I did that in my painter's color diary. I've already done that, but I'm just doing this to show you the colors. This is Indian yellow. Why would I want a palette of nothing but just yellows? Because of the variety that I can get from them when they do the mixing and combining. And so I guess you would call them convenience colors. But they're just so gorgeous, and with my lack of pigment knowledge, I would never, well, I shouldn't say never, but seldom would I guess that I could do this on my own. That was, if I can pronounce this correctly, this is Arcacione orange. And the next one is Hokiato, which may also be butchered as well. These two are a little more opaque. It's kind of similar. Very pretty, very pretty. This next one is Castile orange. Take it out a little bit. See how it does. I didn't give really space for that on the other ones, but it's almost a little bit granulating. Let's go down to the next row. This is antique gold, and as you can see, it has a metallic sheen to it. Also really quite pretty. The next one is Quin Gold. I am in love with this Quin Gold. I have other Quin Golds, but I don't know. This just seems to have such a beautiful, rich tone to it. If you're wondering about my brush, this is from Tracy Levinson. This is his medium bamboo handle with a goat and synthetic 1.5 inch tip. It's beautiful sharp tip as well. Can do details and line work so beautifully with the tips of his brushes. I'll put a link for him as well. This next one is raw sienna. Also looks a little bit granulating to me. Very, 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 very pretty. I'm just so thrilled that I purchased this yellow palette. This next one is Burnt Umber. Now I gotta tell you that these brown shades or hues have a little bit of granulation in them, and when I was painting yesterday, I was really able to get some beautiful tree trunks and texture. This is chromium brown. This also granulates and gives me a beautiful texture when it dries as well. You can see that it almost looks like bark of a tree. It's chromite brown. And the last one is sepia. Also just a beautiful, beautiful, neutral, dark color, which gave me gorgeous tree. Let me add some to this and just show you what I did. It just kind of lends itself to looking like a tree trunk. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And these, I'm gonna add some of my Castile orange to this. Let's give it some branches out here. It's hard for me to even swatch without starting to play. It's just what I do. But I'm gonna just do that much and then let you watch it as it dries, because you'll see the textures and all that it gives. And there's my handy dandy Levinson brush that gives me such beautiful tips. A beautiful tip to add detail. We're gonna watch that dry because you will be amazed at the granulation in that and the colors and how that makes wonderful trees. Look at that Quin Gold, isn't that gorgeous? All right, now I'm gonna go to my blues. I believe I can pronounce all of these. This first one is zirconian blue. Oh, so pretty. I'm using my Arches paper. So this is 100% cotton, 140 pound. I don't like to use inexpensive paper, actually, for anything, even my swatching, because I feel like the paints deserve better than that. I love my paint, I love my paper, I love my brushes. So let's just do it right. Do some wet on wet and show you what this does. Come down a little bit. So pretty. That one is transparent cerulean. This next one is lapis lazuli, or lazuli, however you decide to pronounce it. That's my Ring doorbell that keeps going off. I don't have someone out there, it's just a cat. It's a neighborhood feral cat. Lapis lazuli. This is a beautiful sky color for clouds. It does have some granulation in it, as you can see on this cold press textured paper. The next one is ultramarine blue. And I think we all know that one already granulates. Ultramarine blue. And if you didn't know that, don't feel badly. I didn't know that for a long time. I do now. But I did not know that before. This is one of my favorites. This is midnight blue. I love this color. As you can see, it's very pigmented. I got a big heavy load here on my brush. Let me thin this out a little bit and show you the variation in this color. Just so gorgeous. You could add a little salt to that, and I can mix it next door. Oh, what a pretty sky that would be. I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt to that while we're, let that dry a little bit while we're trying some other colors, and we can see what that does with the salt. So pretty. This is that Yinmen blue that was discovered by the students in University of Oregon a few years ago. They actually discovered it by mistake. They had something else cooking in their chemistry lab, and when they came back in the morning, lo and behold, there was this new blue pigment, the first blue pigment in over 200 years. So it has a claim to fame all on its own. Took a while before paint companies tested it properly and made it available, but many companies have it now, including, I believe, Daniel Smith. This is a teal blue, somewhat opaque, as you can see. I have also learned from my studies, now that I've painted a while, that if you see PW6, that's a white pigment that causes your opacity. And that indeed is what's in here. This is copper blue. Let me get some more water on this one, which kind of reminds me of a robin's egg blue. Also quite pretty. Let's bring it on down a little bit. Let's blend it with this and see what the two of them do when they play together. That's really pretty. They both have some opacity. They both have that PY or PW6, but they make a really pretty color. This next one is aquamarine. Also just wants to take my breath away. Gorgeous teal color. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's going to rush into that teal blue. Oh, I don't know if you get crazy about colors like I do, but they really do make my day. This is another one of my favorites, especially if I'm doing a water scene or this is called Harbor Blue. I was recently working on some paintings for my grandson who's been in Boston, and he's been sending me these gorgeous pictures of the Boston Harbor and the water coming in. And so I have been doing a lot of painting of water in the harbor, and this color is perfect for that, especially in the shadow sections of the water. This next one is in Danthrone Blue. Another one of my favorite blues. So why would I get a whole palette of blues? Because look at these blues, how gorgeous they are. Just beautiful. I just love it. And their last one is Payne's Gray. And their Payne's Gray has a bit of a blue to it, a blue tone. So that's why it's in the blue palette. So that's the neutral or the darker shade for this blue palette. It's the Payne's Gray blue shade. And aren't they pretty? They're just so pretty. So let's go back up to these yellow shades a minute now that they're drying somewhat. Look at the granulation and beauty. Can't you see tree trunks in this? I can, and that's what I did yesterday. I did some tree trunks with this gorgeous granulation. Let's see if I can get that closer, and you can see how pretty that granulation, how that dries. You can see the salt textures on my midnight blue. The darkest area is not dry enough yet. But when you add the salt absorbs the color and gives you these beautiful sparkles. So if I were doing a night sky, these would make really pretty little stars or star shapes or sparkles or water, or if I were doing a landscape, it could even be little wildflowers. The granulation in my lapis lazuli and also in my zirconian blue. This was my cobalt teal, which with the water blended with my blue copper. I'm sorry, I got this backwards. This was my cobalt teal copper blue, which blended into that. And then when I added my aquamarine, it liked to swish over too. Harbor blue, Indanthrone blue, and Payne's gray blue shade. And I'm just loving these two palettes. If you're game, I know they're kind of pricey. They're available once a month. And I have purchased mine over a period of years. I've been using them for about 2 years now. So I don't, you know, spend thousands all at one time. I kind of piecemeal it out over a couple of years. I'm sure if I added it up, though, it would be a tremendous amount. But this was my recent acquisition, the blue palette and the yellow palette. And I just want to share it to you because they're absolutely gorgeous. I find myself painting with my A Gallo paints almost exclusively. I do have other paints, and I do experiment with them as well, and I paint with them, and I have a lot of Daniel Smith that I use as well. But just lately, for my go-to paintings on a daily basis, I reach for my A Gallo palettes. I really enjoy them, and I'm loving this yellow. If you saw my other video, I just did a little painting with nothing but the yellow palette and did a just kind of a landscape, actually, using just the yellow palette. And I think this is just really gorgeous. So I just wanted to share that with you today because I'm excited. I'm enjoying my new paints. And if you don't have money to pay for them, you know, use what you can afford. That's what they say. I am not loaded. Trust me. I am a widow on Social Security. So, you know, that's not a whole lot. But like I say, every few months I will splurge and just get myself a palette to enjoy. And enjoy them, I do. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you're still watching. And hope you enjoyed this. You can also follow me on Follow Your Brush on Facebook, where we have a wonderful group of over 600 members around the world, circling the globe. So hope you'll join me there too. Thanks for watching. Bye.